guy. Oh, I know. Those are outside now. Well, basically, throw it out.
All right, we are back. Back on YouTube and back from the Western. I told you guys I was going to go down there and do it at some point, shooting a bug gun in Carry Optics Division. So I shot this Glock 26 in the Carry Optics Division. The only slight difference is I'd have to trim this base pad a little bit down to get it to fit in the bug box. But since I was shooting it in CO, I didn't feel it was disingenuous to have, it's literally that much extra of a pinky extension. But I loaded to this second mag, which did cause me a few problems, caused a double feed at least once on stage 2 because of the mag. I had my hand on it, but it wasn't fully seated, so caused a Glock to malfunction, which you wouldn't think could happen, but it did. So anyway, those were a couple of stages you saw just a moment ago. Let's look at a couple more stages. I've got more to talk to you about the match, and of course the overall winners, and just a little bit more about the match. It was an awesome weekend, so take a look at the rest of the stages. Okay, so those are the stages from the 2025 Western IDPA Championship. It was last weekend, May 3rd and 4th. I filmed every stage. I didn't film the warm-up. I'm going to talk more about the warm-up in a minute because it was something different. But first, the scores. So PCC and high overall was my Washington crew buddy, Sydney Ballard. We went down there. No surprise to me that he took that top spot. I know that there was, again, consternation among pistol shooters about a PCC taking high overall, but it is what it is. CDP, Glenn Shelby, got to shoot with Glenn on our squad, and man, I have never seen somebody that I would describe that shoots perfectly. Besides Glenn Shelby, like every reload that I saw, every tack load. I mean, like shooting in CDP, he's got 8 rounds, so he was tack loading here and there, and just it was like those thin 1911 mags could go nowhere except directly into the mag well. It was something to watch. Honorable mention, Marty Johnson. Marty was also on our squad. He took 2nd place in CDP, so well done, Marty, and well done, Glenn, if I didn't say that already. SSP, no surprise to me, was Nils Jonassen. Nils, like me, also decided to shoot his Canic Prime, and he replaced the barrel because it's ported and shot an SSP. So, and that looked like a hell of a time. So I had a hell of a time shooting in CO with my little Glock 26, but with 15 rounds, there was like, just because of the nature of how many rounds you get, there was a couple of times where it was like, well, the best option here is to do a standing reload with the way the round count lined up. But an SSP, there was a couple of times where it's like, oh man, you can really run through this thing. And, Nils obviously did very well at it. And it just looked like a blast. So he and I were discussing what this could be called, other than Bug Optics Division. Bug Optics Division would be a good thing. But, and we came up with Actual Carry Pistol, ACP. I think John Moses Browning would love that idea. So IDPA, if you're listening, ACP division. We could have optics and irons, and we could negotiate, what divisions maybe could be not excluded, but changed or whatever. Moving on. ESP was Jasper Dominici. Shot with Jasper before. I think we shot the Silver State Championship. Yeah, I think it was with squatted with Jasper down there. Great shooter, great guy. Revo Ryan Harrigan, he has been the match director for the Western in past years. I don't know what I think he was doing stats this year, but we appreciate all his work, and help in past years putting on the match, and certainly this year as well. CCP was Mark Ayala, my buddy, the Glock Wizard, Trigger Wizard, and fellow Washington shooter. Shoot with him just about every weekend, taking high marks in CCP. Bug was Art Benoit, the once and future king in Bug Division, and what is it that I'm calling Bug Division? The One True Division. CO again for I don't know how many matches in succession was Austin Prue, and an honorable mention for yours truly, which was 2nd place, about 12% back, but still 2nd place is 2nd place. So I was happy with that. There were a total of 182 shooters, 82 of whom were using a dot, which equals out to about 45%. So actually a little bit less than in matches past. So I don't know, maybe there's something about some matches where it's like, oh, there's this people or this person is shooting here, so I'm going to go, try and shoot in irons. I don't know, but 45% was certainly less than I expected. But hey, it's still a significant amount of shooters that are using a dot. But that's the combination of CO and PCC. There were 8 total disqualifications and 10 shooters who were placed into NFS. I assume for gear-related issues. Some of them I know for gear-related issues. Some of them could have been walk-offs, but 10 total. 8 disqualifications I didn't think was like terribly high or unusual. This was a pretty prop-intensive match, and I'm going to get into that in a minute here. But it doesn't, when there's a lot of props involved and a lot of stuff moving and shaking along in the stages, it gets complicated, and those are not intentional, but they are potential points where people get a little bit distracted and might break a safety rule. So I don't think 8 is an exorbitant amount, but I was not surprised to see it be a little bit higher than some of the other matches. Plus 182 is a lot of shooters. High junior for this match was Reese Milry. He was also on our squad, hell of a shooter, shooting PCC with Old Sydney. High lady was Samantha Lim, also on our squad, and also shooting PCC with Old Sydney. And high industry was Austin Prue. High law enforcement was Joe Bodden, me, and high veteran was Sydney Ballard. So lots of Washington names coming in at the top, and I like to see that. So a couple of high points just from the match and just from the weekend. First of all, the whole weekend was just awesome because going to Sacramento, Sacramento is okay. I didn't spend much time in the city because we were pretty much out in, I think it's called Slough House is the town that's near it, or at least at the range for most of the weekend. But when we weren't, we had a bunch of us got an Airbnb, so you're just hanging out with the dudes and talking shooting and all kinds of good stuff. So it was awesome. Also, I got to meet Paul G and Anthony Vega down there from over on Paul's YouTube channel, which was awesome. I got to sit down with Paul and have a nice conversation for a podcast that'll be coming out sometime. When it comes out, I'll direct you guys to it or share it or however. I'm not very technical with YouTube and stuff, so I'll make it known that I was on that. And they gave me this hat, so I don't know if you can see it. You can see my messy hair, but they put the logo that they sent me on a hat and gave it to me while I was done at the match. It was made by, see if I can get this right. Ooh, I'm going the wrong way. By this company here. So it was made by chaotix.com, so I appreciate that. So I'm going to be wearing that for at least the rest of this season. I didn't want to wear it during the match because I sweat like a bandit, and I didn't want to get this hat all dirty, so I'm going to wear it for videos. Other highlights: the crew that the Washington crew, our squad was the Washington crew, Nils, Austin Peru, Glenn Shelby, Marty Johnson, and then the PCC shooters. And so it was just an awesome time getting to watch some high-level guys shoot and copy their stage plans, honestly. Yeah, it was great. And Nils also shot, I think I mentioned it already, but shot from appendix like a real carry. I was going to say a real carry person, but that doesn't make any sense. Like a person who's really concealed carrying, like you would, how he carries that prime around. So I thought that was awesome. In addition to, we were talking about it, and it was like, man, they're, if you're living the vest life, then cool, man, enjoy that. But like shooting without the vest, it feels just like you're walking around like a normal day. I mean, and, I was wearing like this sweatshirt thing, and he was wearing his Canuck jersey, but it's just like walking around any other day. So, added to that mix was the Hunter Constantine carry belt. With that belt, so I used to use like this big thick leather belt because I thought like, oh, it has to be really, really tight so that nothing moves around my belt. But the Hunter Constantine belt is not terribly thick, but it is elastic and stuff doesn't move around, and it is incredibly comfortable. So they're a little bit pricey. I think I paid like $125 for it, but I really liked it. Favorite stage, even though I shot it a little, I could have shot it a little better. The targets in the zip line I thought were cool. It was really, really devious to put. So like, you probably saw it on the video, but so you shoot a piece of steel and the target starts zip lining across the stage. But they put a non-threat and a non-threat to like close off this like gap that you had to shoot the targets in, and it was tough, man. And so some people were blazing, 4 at it and then stepping out and catching it on the other side of the non-threat, and I was like, no, I'm fast enough to shoot, to get all the hits on it. And spoiler alert, I was not. And so, but I asked beforehand, I was like, hey man, what if I run up there? Will I receive a penalty? No, you can charge targets. So I charged up there and probably wasted more time than was necessary because I'd missed one. As soon as I shot the third shot, I was like, oh no, I think I missed. And so I ran up there and took an extra 0 at it, but I may have wasted more time than I made up. But anyway, I thought that was fun and something unique, so I thought that was cool. Feedback. So I have a little bit of feedback for the match. Overall, I didn't think that things went like terrible. There wasn't anything like, oh no, can't deal with this, but everything went well. The first day of competition was a long day. So there's like a rule at the range, I guess. You have to be out of there. I can't remember if it was 5:45 or 6:45. I think it was 5:45. And so we were like pushing up against that, and we really had to like be cooking with the last stage to get through there, just because it's an ambitious undertaking to have, like, they had movers on every stage, and I like that. I like some of the more difficult stages, but because of that, there was a lot of prop malfunctions. But when there were prop malfunctions, they were taken care of quickly, or as quickly as they could. But so I shot the upper half where all the movers were, and like I said, we got out of there, and I was worried that we weren't going to be able to get out and get the award ceremony going and everything. But one of the MDs, I think it was Brian, had the idea of, so I guess they split people up the second day, or not people, squads up the second day. And so like by the time we were done with the lower half, which was the more, it was just faster, I guess. They were almost done up there, and the awards and everything off without a hitch. So feedback for that, like, it's an ambitious undertaking, but we've got to find ways to make that move a little bit faster. But they did. So like, is it negative feedback? Maybe not. The warm-up the warm up was a bit of a ball buster. Like, I didn't hate it, but I did think that it sort of defeated the purpose of a warm up. So I didn't record it. I forgot to turn the camera on as the first stage, and that's kind of like that is to me representative of like what the point of a warm up is. I'm thinking about this. It was more of like a standard stage than a warm up, because it was like 5 yards, not a difficult shot, but the 0 is bifurcated by a non-threat target. So you shoot that 5 times, download it to 5, shoot that 5 times, reload, and shoot a 20-yard target 5 times. So like, in my opinion, warm up should be either relatively easy, low round count drills, or they shouldn't be part of the match at all. If the point of warm up, in my opinion, is like, let's get the hands moving, let's get the eyes moving before we get into stages. And if we're going to just make this another difficult stage, then like, let's just not do it. Let's just let them warm up on a stage. So that's my opinion. Disguising a standard as a warm up, I just don't think it's necessary. And there were, in general, in IDPA, we like or match directors, and to me to an extent included, like the stages where it's like, target here, and you got to go back and forth between priority. And there was like 3 of those in this match. And I think the rule book says you can only have 1 per 10 stages, when they weren't like, out of, wasn't illegal or anything. But like, for me, like, let's do that once, because it's an IDPA hallmark, and let's be done with that. So not bad, just my opinion, feedback from Joe Bodden. That, and what is it, $3 now at Starbucks will get you a cup of coffee. All in all, it was a fun match, and like I said before, I applaud them for doing something ambitious. I heard the match director was like, we're going to use every prop we have, and dude, they did. So as you saw on that stage there, or that in the stages, there weren't hardly any that didn't have a mover or some sort of complicated shooting. So it was an awesome match. I'll definitely go back next year. So if you're looking for a match around May Day, probably not too many of us that shoot and participate in May Day events. But anyway, if you're looking for a match around the 1st of May, consider the Western. It's awesome. I'll be going back next year. And yeah, that's it. If you have the time and the means, check out www.dz-214.com, where you can donate to all the vetted veterans charities that we support. And next up is, we're off this weekend, then Washington State USPSA, and then the big one, Rocky Mountain Regional and Colorado State. See you there.